One of the hardest things that you'll ever have to do is to leave someone that you love. Now that goes for relationships in which there's abuse as well. That just complicates things a bit more. If you're going to leave a narcissistic or other abusive person, whether that's in your family, it's a partner of yours, it's a roommate of yours, or even you're in this work environment, you're going to need to take some extra precautions and make some extra preparations for your move. So in this video, I'm going to give you the how to leave a narcissist. So when you need to leave an abusive person, and again, that could be an intimate relationship, a family or family member, that could be a landlord, neighbors, it could be a work situation, and it could even be a friendship. If you want to see a separate video that I did on narcissistic frenemies, check the link that I put up here in the corner. So when you want to leave one of these relationships, usually what happens is what starts this whole process, something happens that suddenly breaks through your denial and the truth is staring you in the face and you're left to ask yourself, okay, now what? So that tends to be the premise. Now I'm going to give you 8 steps to leave the narcissist. Step 1, shields up. This means new boundaries. That could be physical boundaries, mental, emotional, financial, any kind of boundary that you can start to put into place to give yourself a little bit more distance from the situation and to start to recover your power. Because we can't control how other people behave. We can only control what we allow from them. Step 2 is observation. This is where you put into place respond versus react. If you haven't seen the recent podcast episode I did on that, check that out. That's my most recent information on this topic, but I also have more videos on this topic. I'll put that link up here in the corner for you. So when you respond instead of react, first you're going to start to breathe, to buy yourself some time and to get some clarity over the situation. What you're going to notice is you don't want to take the bait. When you don't take the bait from the abuser, you start to reserve your energy. You're going to need this energy for the extraction process. Then, once you've also not invested your energy in that whole drama play, you're going to be able to observe things a lot better and start to notice more patterns. Step 3 is feeling. This is where you're going to start to notice how you feel emotionally, how you feel in your body, but you're not going to share this with the abuser. It's very important. This is for you and for you only, and this is very valuable, but it's also very important that you don't go to your abuser looking for love, looking for support, looking for understanding, or even trying to make them responsible for your feelings. You simply want to check in all day long and ask yourself how you're feeling. Now that's going to be a challenge with the PTSD numbness, because right now, if you're still in that situation, you're in a trauma state. So you're under survival. So your whole being, your body, your brain, your nervous system is putting your emotions on lockdown. It could be hard to get in touch with those when you're in the moment. You'll also notice that there's a normalization of the fear, of the terror, and of the anxiety that you feel in that relationship. So some of that will start to come up as you're able to start focusing on your feelings. Step 4 is education. This is where you're learning about abuse and the behaviors and patterns of abuse. You're learning all this terminology quietly. You are not sharing this with the abuser. You're not putting it in their face, calling them out. You're simply observing a label for the behavior every time that they're doing something abusive and manipulative. So you start labeling that, and what you're going to get is this immediate sense of relief because of the understanding of what's going on that you didn't understand before. Step 5 is recapping the story. This is where you're going to start practicing to own your reality. You're going to narrate to yourself in your mind the stories as things have taken place. Now, if you can, write this down in a safe place. If you're afraid that your abuser is going to go searching through your stuff and find it, don't do that. The point is, all of this is done in secret, and you're not having this argument with that person. Remember that time this happened, or you did this. You're only rehashing that story and reminding yourself of the reality in your mind. This is going to help you to label those abuse tactics. Every time you're having a memory and you're processing those memories and you're telling yourself that story, you're putting the label, the terminology on the abuse patterns. That's starting to dissipate the fog in your brain. That's starting to give you more clarity. It's starting to restore your memory, and it's most definitely helping you to face the truth. Step 6 is plan. Now, this is going to be secretly. You're not going to announce this. You're not going to tell the abuser about this. You're not going to post this on social media. This is all happening secretly. And during this planning process, you're going to need to enlist allies. So if for you, that means a domestic violence shelter, or maybe it means family members that are going to help you get out of there, a place that you're going to go once you move out. Maybe you need to hire movers, make all kinds of arrangements. Maybe some of your friends can help you with something. You want to enlist allies, but again, they need to keep this plan all top secret. You need to be able to stay one step ahead of the abuser. You're going to act normal. You're not going to let them know that anything is up or anything is going on. And as long as you stay one step ahead of them, you're going to be able to carry out your plan when they least expect it. Step 7 is to make a move. This is where you get out of the insane asylum. This is where you've planned the move for the day that your partner or your family member or your roommate or your landlord or whomever is unavailable. That means they're working and you know they're not going to come home, or they're traveling, or they're out for a long period of time with their friends. You know that they're going to be out. That's when you get yourself out of there with the help of your allies, hopefully, or the worst case scenario, hiring movers to get yourself out of there and to get yourself to a safe place. They cannot know that this is going to happen. Now, a different situation is if it's your place and the abuser needs to leave. It's your home, it's the apartment that you're renting, they moved in with you. Somehow that happened, that they're in your space and you need to get them out. You might need to get an attorney and or the police involved to help them get their stuff out. Or what I've heard from other people is they collect all their stuff, they rent a storage unit, they pay the first month only, and then they send the abuser the key in the mail, or they leave it at someone's house, like their mother, their father, someone that they're in contact with, where they can get the key to the storage with a note that simply says the first month is paid, you'll need to pay the rent or remove your stuff by this date, or they're going to sell your stuff and you'll lose all your stuff. And that's the end. Now, of course, if they moved out of your space, you're going to need to change the locks right away because they had keys to that. So maybe you never get that key back. Even if they give you the key back, change the locks because you don't know if they made a copy. Another great idea is to install security cameras because they know where you live. So they're probably going to try to get in touch with you. They could even do some kind of gaslighting, which I mentioned in a recent video. I'll put that link up here if you want to check it out. They might be bothering your stuff or doing something, playing pranks on you. So having security cameras outside would be a really good idea. If at all possible, I would suggest that you move because that's just going to completely clear you from the radar of that abuser. They will have no idea where you are. They won't be able to bother you. Step 8 is no contact. So maybe you need to send one message about the storage unit, about something, about vacating the property, about, I left the keys on the counter and I've moved out. This is the end. Whatever that last text is, do not get into explanations. Do not get into anything emotional, how you feel, all of that. You're simply sending an end of the line message. And after that, you block the person, you cut them off of your social media. You no longer have any contact whatsoever with them or with the mutual contacts with their family, with their friends, with their potential flying monkeys. So you've blocked them, you've deleted them, there's no more contact with them. And there's no more talking about things. They might take another avenue to try to get in contact with you, something you didn't think about blocking, or they took another number or something. Maybe they're going to want to talk about things now. Remember, they didn't want to talk about things before. They couldn't work things out before. They're not going to change. They're an abusive person. There's no more talking. Talking is done. So you can just go ahead and ignore that message and immediately block whatever avenue it was that they used to get to you. So if you want to know more about no contact, I'm going to link a playlist that I did on that topic up here. I also have a more recent podcast episode on the topic of no contact. So to wrap this up, it's very, very important that you maintain secrecy as you're planning and executing leaving the narcissist. It is no joke. The most dangerous point for the victim, and that could be male or female, is the moment when you're leaving, because that's when the abuser has nothing left to lose. That's when a victim often ends up dead. So please take precautions. Make sure that you've taken the time to plan this out, that you're doing that in secrecy, and that you're enlisting allies, even if you have to pay for them to help you, like movers, so that you can carry out this plan, go no contact, be totally free from the abuser, and start to work on your healing process. It's important also to understand that you're still going to be in the cognitive dissonance quite likely when you leave. And it's not going to automatically lift the moment that you leave the abuser. Chances are you're still going to be fighting that denial. You're still going to have moments of wanting to believe in the good in the abuser, or moments of intense compassion for the abuser in which you start to doubt yourself and your decision. So it's really important to immediately start working on breaking through that cognitive dissonance. I have some videos on that topic. I also have some podcast episodes on that topic that you can check out. It's really, really important that you break through this, because if not, chances are likely that you could go back. You could have gone through all of this to leave the person, to have to do it all over again. Now, if you don't know what happens when you get back in contact with the narcissist, I'm going to link that video up for you as well. Also keep in mind that after you get out and you're in a new environment of safety, expect the PTSD crash. It will happen. What happened is your brain and nervous system kept all that stuff in check when you had to be on in a survival situation. So much stuff was repressed and held under the surface so that you could get through that and get out of that. Then your system is just going to sense that you're in now a place of safety. You're no longer in that abusive environment. That's when everything is going to start to come out. You might even feel like you went backwards in the recovery journey, but actually the stuff has to come up. You have to feel it so that you can start to heal it, process it, unpack it, and move forward. So plan for that recovery time, if at all possible. Work out a deal that you can take some time off of work to take care of yourself. Definitely plan to get more sleep. Take extra good care of yourself with nutrition, with hydration, and really plan for this time. Get help if you can, if you want to see a therapist or other healers, someone to help you in your recovery process, talking to people, even some support groups. Really plan for that time in advance so that you can set yourself up for success. Because remember, the statistics say 7 times is the average amount of times that a victim returns to the abuser. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, give it a like or leave a comment below. If you want to share some insights from your experience of leaving a narcissist, whether it was romantic, a roommate, a family member, an office work kind of situation, a landlord situation, or anything like that, go ahead and share that in the comments below. I'm sure that can help someone else. I'm sending you a big hug.